Hey, Justice Warriors, what up? What is good? My hair's looking a little crazy. I knew I should have worn my hat. I have it handy in case I have a hat emergency. I'm sure I will. How are you guys tonight? And I don't see anybody here yet because I just came on with like literally zero warning. I do have um, one mod at least that said she is going to be on. So if you're here and you want to say hi, then I know you're here. If you're not here and you don't say hi, then I'll just go on. Annie Ruler, oh my God, you rule. Seriously. Oh, you're the best. And Sherry I. You guys rock. Oh, thank you for coming in. Right as I was turning on, I saw that Ara was doing a live, and I was like, crap, I want to go be in Ara's live. She was going to do it last night, and I was all excited to be there, but then she wasn't feeling well, so she had to reschedule. Long time no live for me. Yeah, and me too. It's been like 48 hours. I can't stand skipping a day. I am so serious. It drives me nuts. But you guys know how busy I've been and it's just nonstop. I don't want to complain because I like having a very active and full life. I like to say it keeps me out of trouble, mostly. So let me do my little routine. Please share, subscribe, ring your notification bell, s'il vous plaît. Where is my handy dandy thumb? Please hit that like button if you'd be so kind. And my disclaimer, everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of conversation. I enjoy trying to open up a discussion, and I'm so happy that you guys are here for it. So thank you. All my videos are made specifically for YouTube. We know that's an entertainment platform, and I hope that they're educational for me and for you. I'm hoping to learn something. I'm hoping that we can all learn something together. So, Sunflower Dragon, hello. It drives us not to see you for 48 hours. Oh, you're too sweet. That's just the bomb. Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Not to be a complete goofball, but it's like our interweb family, or friends, or affiliates, our colleagues, our, what's the word I'm looking for? Our posse? Yeah. Our cohort. That's the one I want. You guys are my cohort. Nuts, not. I knew what you meant. I think I even read it as nut, didn't I? I don't know. Anyway, as you guys know, I've just been crazy busy. Of course, I signed up to lifeguard all freaking weekend. So tomorrow, at least I don't have to start early, but I get to be a lifeguard tomorrow and all day Sunday. So it's fun. I enjoy guarding people's lives. That's what I do. Oh, I did read it as nuts. That's awesome. I knew what you meant. So, seriously, like guarding people's lives, I never ever considered being a lifeguard until I was 50. And the place where I swim asked me if I could because they were short on lifeguards. And so I thought, that's crazy. I'm 50, WTF. And then I thought, you know what? What better thing to do at 50 than something you never thought you would do, right? So I've been doing it off and on ever since, and I love it. Let me just tell you a cute little joke before we get into our case. People would sometimes ask me, like, isn't it so boring lifeguarding? Like, doesn't time just go really, really slow? And my response is always the same. No, when you're swimming, time goes slow. When you're lifeguarding, it stands still. So anybody who's lifeguarded knows. And if I'm doing it by myself and I need to have somebody give me a break, I like run as fast as I can to go to the bathroom. I come back and I always say to them, "Did that feel like a million years or what?" And they're like, "Yeah, it did." Anyway, um, so here we go. Let's get into this freaking Idaho 4. Let's talk about some Kylie Rodney. Where to begin? You guys, seriously, Shanda. Squirrels on Fire did an amazing short. I'm going to put it in my description. It's about a month ago, and I don't think I saw it until today. And I didn't even know that it was hers. And I was just like, man, this rocks. Is this Shanda or is this somebody else? And of course it was Shanda. But Squirrels on Fire, Shan, she's got all those names. SOF. Um, yeah, I just want to say this about the Kylie Rodney case. There's a lot I want to say, but if your child was missing, there's no way in hell you would be staying home and having like a news crew come interview you. You would be out and about. You would have no time to talk to them. You would try to because you're trying to put the word out there so that other people can help and keep it higher profile. But the last thing you would do is be at home, even if you were running a bed and breakfast. There's just no way in hell that you would be able to make yourself stay put. You would be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm just saying that that's what you would do. Give me a freaking break. It's your child. She's 16. She's gorgeous. You're out in the freaking Sierra, sorry, I can't speak. The mountains. You're out in the freaking woods. You know it's dangerous. There's lions and tigers and bears, and then there's perps, and then there's biatches. So the other thing is if your friend was missing and you were panicked and looking for them, you wouldn't be laughing and like pretend fighting. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't be laughing. You would be freaking out. It's unimaginable. These people are so ridiculous. They give themselves away every step along the way. Period. In my humble opinion. Um, Carmack, hello. And let's see about Kylie and new cases from Placer Jazz. Um, well, I'm not familiar with any brand new cases. I'm familiar with the one that Ara's covering that's not new, but it's kind of new to me and maybe new to YouTube. Um, Dylan, and I always mess up his last name, so I'll just say Dylan. It's not the Dylan from the Idaho 4 case. It's a male, and Ara's talking about him right now. I think it's like Rousey. Let me see it. Rosway, Roswey, Roswey, Dylan Roswey. Um, has anyone been able to figure out if any life insurance was taken out on Kylie, as in the Sammy Smith and Kylie's family mom? Annie Ruler, I do not know, but what I suspect is that there was a payoff. I mean, we know that potentially, in my opinion, we know that Sammy's parents are both attorneys and that they just happen to be attorneys for the national park system, right? And this just happened to happen allegedly in a national park. But honestly, I don't think Kylie made it to that party. I think her phone made it to that party. Um, I think that that whole party was a setup to make it look like, well, it could have been any of these creepy older dudes, and there was the drugs and all that stuff. I think that that whole thing was fabricated. Um, Rando Chicken says the two officers in Placer County who were arrested, I think that's what Sunflower Dragon is referring to, Justice A to Z. So I did hear something about that. And yeah, I'm trying to remember whose video it was that I saw about one of the Placer County officers. You know, there's a lot of corrupt law enforcement, unfortunately. Much more of law enforcement is not corrupt than is. But Placer County, I mean, come on, look at their leadership. I mean, I hope he was the second one that was arrested, but it's usually not the ones in charge that uh, get that have to pay. It's their subordinates, but they're usually it's their job to know what their officers are doing. So if their officers are doing it, they need to be held accountable because if they didn't know, that's dereliction of duty. And if they did know, then, you know, they're complicit. Let's see. Placer County posted it on their Facebook. Wu had the balls to comment about it. Yeah, he's got some cojones, doesn't he? Some huevos. There is one other she just presented tonight. Smith family dad has had his name legally changed. Maybe witness protection. Came from Southern Cali. I think it was Tsunami or Kevin that showed us. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. I'm not sure that I caught that. Um, so you guys, there was something I thought of today that I don't think I've ever thought of this. And I really am dying to know what you guys think about it. The night of November 12th, 13th, 2022, at the University of Idaho, the big football game against their rivals, UC Davis. Where did the football team from Davis party that night? And where did they stay that night? Normally, that would be a hotel or somewhere on campus. So they won. UC Davis won. I don't know what the score was. If anybody knows the score, I was going to Google it right before I came on, but there was like 1,000 things I was doing and I was never coming on. So I was just like, screw it. I just got to get onto the live. So if you guys want to Google it, if you know what the score was, but UC Davis beat their rival that night. We don't even know if any of the five roommates and um, Ethan were at the football game. I would assume that they all were because, it's a football kind of school and that's just kind of what you do. But it's very suspicious, in my opinion, that the football game isn't talked about because that was what defined that night. It was the big football game. So when we're looking at these alleged videos, surveillance cameras of the area for, the middle of the night, 4 in the morning, remember there was a big game that night, a big game. So we know that college kids party. It's no big deal to stay up until 4. No big deal. Like, I just think for anyone to say that these headlights are the criminal defendant is the craziest thing in the world. Like, how on earth would you know that? This is a campus of over 10,000 students. It's a community of about 25,000. It's a Saturday night. There was a giant football game. It's a Saturday night. I mean, that's what you do in a college town is you stay up all night on Friday nights and Saturday nights if you can, if you want to. And most of those kids can and want to. So, um, let's see. Are you going to take down that picture of the wrong Caden Young? Um, I haven't looked at the comments, but one of my moms told me that someone said that that was the wrong Caden Young. I'll look at it. I don't believe that it is the wrong Caden Young. I think that it's a younger Caden Young. I think that that picture was taken of him in high school. But when you put it side by side with the pictures of him in college, um, I mean, if it's the wrong one, then of course I will. But I think that it's just when he was 4 years younger, 3 years younger, something like that. Because yeah, he does look a little bit different. And if it's the wrong one, then yeah, I'll fix that. Thank you. Um, Government contract may be given to Mr. Smith. Yeah, government contracts is what the Smiths are all about. Um, They aren't rival. Wazoo, Montana, Boise State are their only rivals. Um, I'm pretty sure UC Davis is the rival for, um, I don't know. Andy, do you live there or something? Do you know all these people? I mean, if I'm incorrect, that's fine, but I'm just like wondering where you're getting your information because UC Davis, I mean, I don't know what Google says, but UC Davis and the University of Idaho are rivals, as far as I know. It's a short, UC Davis a short time later had a guy red rum and be arrested. Well, and the thing about Caden Young, like, did he play that night? Did he play in that game that they lost? I mean, he was recruited as a quarterback for the University of Idaho. That's pretty big. And then he was the president of his fraternity, and that's pretty big. I think it was up until the previous year. And yeah, what I wrote down his fraternity. I think I put it in the post, didn't I? Because it was a weird one. It was one I'd never heard of. Pretty sure I wrote it down, but maybe I wrote it down somewhere else. It's just nuts trying to keep track of all this stuff. Yeah, I must have written it down somewhere else if anyone knows and wants to say. Anyway, he was the president of his fraternity. He wrote for the school newspaper. Is it called the Argonaut or something like that? And he was majoring in journalism and he would have just graduated with his degree. So it is the wrong one. The one in the pic plays for Idaho College Coyotes. Okay. Um, let's see. More clues in what isn't said, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I think that you got a good point there. Um, and so Andy, do you live right there in Moscow? You're a Vandal fan? It was a big game because if we won, we would have gotten a better seeding in the playoffs. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm aiming, Andy, is if Caden Young was the quarterback and they didn't win, so they didn't get a good seeding in the playoffs, if there was some hostility towards him. Um, I mean, I know that he allegedly died of an overdose, and allegedly those substances that ended his life were provided to him by Emma and Demetrius. And was that intentional? I mean, we know that those things sometimes happen intentionally. So I don't know. It's really sick. It's really sick that these kids at this university are ending up unalive and that there's just so much effery about it. I mean, it's crazy. It's creepy AF. Um, oh, hey, Andy, you say you live in Pullman. Cool. Um, I mean, kind of cool. It's kind of a interesting town to live in. I want to ask what you do there. Like, do you work for the school? Because there's not a lot there other than the school. And yeah, it's kind of a bleak community in my humble opinion. It's two different Caden Youngs. The Vandals quarterback is Giovanni McCoy. Okay. Man, you are just a wealth of information. You should start your own channel. Um, so yeah, there's a few things I really wanted to discuss tonight. Um, that whole thing with the footage, what I'm calling the fire cam footage of the Idaho 4. And if you guys have had a chance, hopefully, to watch the Sleuthy Goosey video that she put out a few days ago about how this person contacted her and basically maybe was trying to trick her into uh, distributing it and then trying to like mess her up and discredit her and put her integrity um in jeopardy like that. I don't know. um Something I also wanted to say that I think has been said before, I think maybe I've said it once. The texts and the calls to Jack D on Kaylee's phone and Madison's phone, what if they were already unalived? What if those texts and those calls were made from their phones, sort of like how Brian Laundrie did with Gabby Petito's phone, contacting her mother? What if all of those phone calls were made by someone else? I think it's something to consider because people want to say, oh, well, we know they were alive because the phone calls. We know that Xana was alive because her TikTok app. We don't know that. We know that somebody was on her TikTok app when they made the comment queen. And somebody in my chat a few weeks ago said that she had commented on um, somebody's brother's post, not Emma's brother, but somebody else. Another less known about individual that seems kind of sketchy. Anyway, it was just interesting that it just so happened to be on his post that from her phone, Queen was made as a comment. Um, and the whole thing with the freaking DoorDash is, to me, a red herring. I'll just say it. I'm not buying the whole DoorDash thing. To me, that is a way to try to timestamp that nothing happened until after 4 o'clock, even though we had said that we knew that everything happened before 4, between 3 and 4. Now we're saying nothing happened until after the DoorDash. Like, that's just crazy. This whole freaking story is just crazy. Uh, what other notes did I have about the honking that you can hear on the video, like the light honking in the background, and then how that like syncs up with some other, what is it, like the doorbell cam? That can still be fabricated. That doesn't mean that it's authentic. That's not a way to authenticate it. Um, let's see. I see your comment, Andy, that you work for an apartment complex. You don't work for, I remember when you said something about that. You don't work for the Steptoe Village apartments or the coffee house apartments, do you? I remember you mentioning that a while back. Luthi is too smart for that crap, in my humble opinion, also. It just is annoying for her. I know she works full time also, and she's a very busy person. For her to get jacked around like that is just ridiculous. But what it tells me is that somebody is targeting her because they're afraid of her because she's smart. So yeah, they're trying to cut her legs off basically. X last alleged comment really feels like someone else commented. I have wondered if EB was there, Emma Bailey. Xana last comment was Queen on, oh, it was Emma Bailey's brother's post. Thank you, Annie Ruler. Thank you. Yeah, that's creepy AF, in my humble opinion. Yikes. Um, the DoorDash, one rumor was DoorDash was ordered by Uber driver. Another was new account, burner phone, paid on preload card, all a ruse for the timeline, possibly. Wow. I don't want to highlight that one just because I want to leave that other one up for a minute, but then I'll highlight it. Very good comment. Oh, so Andy, you are the apartment manager for one of those two? That's pretty wild. Um, that's really wild. You don't want to say which one? I think EB brother, but definitely Bailey last name. I thought it was a female's TikTok she commented on. No, I think it was somebody's brother. I think it was a female's brother. Um, oh, sorry, Andy. I remember that before. Not manager, I'm maintenance. Um, good to know. So I think you had said it before. There's no way I'd ever find that video. Which one it was, whether it was the coffee house or the Steptoe Village. If you feel like sharing, if you don't, that's fine too. Um, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, in a sense, I mean, loosely affiliated, you're kind of working with the college indirectly, maybe I would say, just because I mean, I know that the town is very, very slight of a town without the university. Um, what the university is, it's been a while since I've looked at the numbers, like 25,000, I think, 25,000. And then the community is like 10,000, maybe 11,000, so like 36,000 altogether. Um, yeah, I did, but you wouldn't believe me if I told you what I know. Like I said, dude, maybe you should start a channel or something. I don't know. Seriously, you probably know a lot. I would imagine that there's a lot of people in these communities that know a lot and are probably afraid to talk. EB was not a big deal to us. When we saw Bailey's brother was post, we thought comment was made on. I can't, it's in the paperwork I signed. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I know, confidentiality and just keeping things on the down low is always intelligent for sure. And I'm sure your name is not Andy Libby, hopefully. I mean, I can't imagine anybody would have their actual name on YouTube. That would just be nuts. Maybe you can collaborate with a creator you trust, Andy Libby. Oh, Andy Libby says it is. Sorry, you're not supposed to do that. Too late, right? Seriously. We would believe you. That is why we feel BK is the one and only. Huh? I made this account years ago. Um, we feel BK is the one and only. You mean the criminal defendant, Annie Ruler, or are you talking about the other BK? Um, Brent Kopaka. Not the one and only. Oops. You threw me a curveball there, girl. I was like, holy smoke. So you think it's just BK and only BK? That's too funny. So right. I just, way back in the beginning of this case, I thought is probably one person for some variety of reasons. One of those reasons being that, yeah, it's going to be hard to trust somebody to commit such heinous crimes, you know, then you have to kill that person so they don't turn you in. I mean, you can't trust anybody, right? Like thick as thieves. So that was one of the reasons that I thought maybe it was just a lone wolf, so to speak. And then there were other reasons too. But then when it was looking like it was this criminal defendant guy and that he doesn't know these people, then it's like, well, how did he know not to trip over that step in the living room to the kitchen? How did he know how to deal with the dog? How did he know where these people were and when to come in? And why would he have? Nobody's going to have left to survivors. That's just asinine. The whole story is so freaking asinine. It blows my mind that we buy it. I mean, I bought it in the beginning, but then over time, it just doesn't hold up. It can't hold water. It cannot sustain itself. There's too many holes in it. It's a pile of garbage, in my humble opinion. Um, Copaco is just nuts and had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with this. I can say this with 95% confidence. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't like saying anything derogatory about anyone deceased, but especially somebody who fought for our country and who sustained injuries from fighting for our rights. Um, so I have trouble with that comment, Andy. If you want to elaborate, to say somebody is just nuts. I mean, yeah. I don't mean that offensively, but he was crazy. Certainly a lot of red herrings in this case for sure. Um, Four frogs, fat asses, hello. So, yeah, I mean, he was a vet and he should have been getting services. He should have been getting treatment and he should have been protected when that situation happened. Um, that makes me very suspicious. As a Purple Heart vet, that's not protocol. That's not procedure. That to me seems like something's up. Um, they basically treated him like he was an average Joe, basically. And the people that he was allegedly threatening were out of harm's way. So um, it just doesn't add up. Yeah, and I don't know that he shot at the cops. I mean, I know that that's in the documentation. But I remember seeing videotape of the cops all just like standing around, like they were telling jokes and stuff during this alleged SWAT team incident. So that's not, it just doesn't jive. Um, yeah. If they were being shot at, why were they standing around in a circle drinking coffee, talking to each other? That's just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. Um, yeah. I'm curious, very, very curious. So, let's see. We are already at half an hour. I was only going to stay on for about half an hour tonight, and I want to go back to the whole thing with Jack D and the calls and the texts that were made to him. What was his response in the morning when he saw his phone? Did he try to get a hold of them? Did he try to call them? Did he try to go over there? I mean, and where does he work? His story was that he had worked on Saturday, so he was too tired to go out that night. He stayed in, but wait, no, there's a picture of him at the corner club. So he was tired. He went out for a drink, but then he went home. Where does he work? I'm curious if he works like at one of the fraternities or something. Sounds like you were likely nearby. The recording is missing a big chunk of time. Sounds like you may know something went down. Well, I know from a similar SWAT incident that I was very close to that isn't anything to do with this situation, but I know that the report from the Bureau of Investigations um was a sham, that there was a lot of information missing from it and that there was stuff put in there that was not accurate. It was infuriating. It was absolutely infuriating. I didn't work there at the time. I've just heard from coworkers since I started. It's all coming back to me, Andy Libby. Thanks for refreshing our memories. Yes, I remember you saying that now. Um, So let's see. What was that weird tape that I'm sorry, my brain is so foggy. The tape that somebody was sharing recently that said that Xana was yelling out like no spare me Charlie, and that she yelled this out at like 1:32 in the morning. And isn't that screenshot from the Corner Club? Isn't that 1:32 in the morning? Again, I meant to check and I haven't checked, but I know that the timestamp on that screenshot might be inaccurate some from what people have said. But I'm thinking it's like really close to the same time. And why was that photo leaked? That was leaked December 27th, I think. Um, and Koberger was arrested the 30th, 29th, 30th. It was a Friday night. Um, but why was that one still shot leaked? You guys, there's so much weird stuff in this case. Again, going back to the photographs of Koberger allegedly in the same room with Margaret Atwood. Why are these photographs circulating? Like, certainly there's a lot of photographs of him doing other things at other points in his life that are not circulating. So why? Why was that one screenshot taken of the surveillance footage? Why was it released at that point in time? And when people first said that that was Jack D in the photograph, I was like, no way, that can't be. Who thinks that? And then it was kind of the consensus that it was 100% Jack D. Kaylee's family says that's Jack D in that photograph. But then I've heard people saying, oh, no, it's not Jack D. Like the effery, you guys, the effery, the back and the forth, like with the FBI, the traffic stops of Koberger and his father in Indiana. Like those were planned. No, they weren't planned. Yes, they were planned. I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me that they were planned. Um, just the way the interactions are and the fact that they were 10 minutes apart. It's like they were trying to put the screws to him and just get him all paranoid. You know, nobody gets pulled over for traveling too close to the vehicles in front of them. I mean, it's extremely rare. And for him to be told that twice in 10 minutes is just bizarre. Like, that must have really messed with his head, whether he's innocent or guilty. I mean, seriously. The questions Justice just answered, I meant for you. I live on the other side of town, so I didn't hear about it until the next morning. All right, you guys. So I do want to address somebody in my comment section said something like, oh, you were so tired when you were making this video, and I thought maybe you were high or drunk or something like that. And okay, that doesn't really offend me. Their comment offended me because they're not my mom. I'm going to be making videos sometimes when I'm tired because otherwise most of my videos would never get made. And I want to make my videos. And, if it bothers somebody that I'm tired, then I would suggest that they don't watch my videos. But other content creators are probably tired when they're making their videos too. So I just thought it was like the weirdest comment. It's really been bugging me. And like I said, not because of any accusation of substance abuse. I mean, thank goodness that's not my life. And, I don't know if they don't know my channel or what, but, you know, if I make a video when I'm tired and I'm loopy, I will apologize for being loopy, but I'm not going to not make the video. So, like, it just really pissed me off and it just made me want to say, step off. If you don't like watching me make a video when I'm tired, then just don't watch. And sorry, not sorry. I mean, it just was so bizarre to me. And, you know, as a content creator, you get a lot of whack comments. And I try to read all of them. I try to respond. I try not to delete or, get bent out of shape. I try to, like, turn things into something positive or just ignore it. But I just wanted to share because I am loopy. I am tired. What time is it? It's 12:30. I gotta get up in the morning and, save people's lives. Um, so I do really enjoy lifeguarding and I really enjoy my full-time job. I really enjoy my YouTube. Like, I'm not gonna not do any of these things. Like, yeah, I might be spreading myself thin. I have 4 kids and I love them too, but they're not so little. They don't need me that much and they do get sick of their mom. You know how kids are. Um, but yeah, like I said, I like to stay busy. It keeps me out of trouble. And, you know, to each their own. It's a free country, right? We all make our decisions the best we can each day, and we do what we do, and we're free to follow the beat of our own drum. And I always say, do what inspires you. Seriously. To me, that's the most important thing. And this platform really inspires me. It inspires me to interact with you guys. That's why I like to come on live versus doing the pre-recordeds. Um, Pre-recordeds. That's cute, huh? Um, anyway, I'm going to do my little thumb thing again. Please hit your like button if you'd be so kind. And do your old share, subscribe, ring your notification bell. I do keep making changes in my backdrop or my set. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm definitely open to suggestions and input for that. My most recent addition is this giant metal circle thing. It's actually a planter. I just picked that up yesterday or the day before, and I love it. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know if I'd be able to fit it in. But I also am trying to have it not be so busy because like it's really busy right here. I might have to take some of those things out. But anyway, I know you guys aren't here for the scenery. You're here for the content. I feel like I'm here for the content. I love putting my ideas out there. Some of the ideas are good, some of the ideas maybe aren't good. Andy Libby, thank you for the information about the football player. I will make corrections on there, so I appreciate that. Let's see, what did I miss here? Um, like it or leave it, it's simple. It looks amazing. Oh, you're too sweet. Four frogs, fat asses. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't understand if people don't like a content creator or don't like a video. I don't understand why they would watch, and especially I don't understand why they would put their effort into making comments, So I really do try to appreciate the comments, even if they're negative, because somebody put some thought and time into that. And, you know, I appreciate the thought, I appreciate the time. Um, I'm going to say peace out, you guys. Have a really good night. Have a great weekend. I'm gonna check and see if Ara is still doing her live. I hope she is. I would recommend anybody who doesn't know Ara's channel to check her out. She's amazing. I really, really like what she does, her content. No worry, honey, they're trolls. I know. But I mean, I do think that it's the trolls are what keep a lot of people from uh putting their best foot forward and trying to do YouTube themselves. Um, and I also think that the trolls should get a life, find something better to do, maybe get a hobby. Lindsay Neiman, right? So good night, you guys. Peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. Make sure you stay hydrated, eat your vegetables. I do need to brag. I was eating a salad right before I came on, so I've been doing really well with my vegetables and swimming every day. So, like I said, I do kind of pack it in. But yeah, I'm committed to taking good care of myself. So, get your exercise, sleep, hydration, stay calm. It's all going to be okay. Thanks again for watching, you guys. I really appreciate all of you and sending you light and love. Peace and joy. See you on the next one.